Welcome back to another Senior Learning Institute educational moment. I'm Ted Gottlieb, certified senior advisor, seniors real estate specialist, and founder of the Senior Learning Institute. When you no longer need that vehicle, you have plenty of options. In my mind, you can donate it, scrap it, trade it in, or sell it. Jay Grosman, founder and CEO of iAutoAgent, is the perfect person to walk you through the options. Whether you do it yourself or let iAutoAgent provide their time-tested turnkey solutions, Jay's a great resource. Jay, tell us, what are the more common ways that folks are selling vehicles today?
Well, it's pretty much the same as it has been for a while. You have Auto Trader, you have Cars.com, you've had Craigslist, which has its complexities. Now you have Facebook Marketplace. There's a lot of them out there, and some of them definitely cost money to do.
Okay, so what are some of the risks that are associated when one goes about selling that way?
It's a loaded question. The risks are there's a lot of risks. Number one, you don't know who you're dealing with when you're selling the vehicle, and it's going to take some research from you to figure out who you are going to be working with in any of the sources. And we have definitely processes of how we go about that.
Right, now you were telling me about some of the scams that are out there, and one of them you just recently uncovered. Just quickly, give us the basics as to what was going on there and how it is that people might get a feel if something just doesn't smell right. What are they looking for?
So there's different scams whether you're selling or buying. This was actually a scam that we uncovered when somebody had hired us to help them buy a car. It turns out we have a three-step process. One of the first steps is we vet the dealer's reputation. Well, when we dug into it, it turned out that it wasn't even a dealership. It was somebody, I'm going to call them a scammer, Ted, that literally threw up a website that wasn't even a real dealership to pretend like they were a dealership.
Right, they made it look really, really legit, including a link to a Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, they went as far as having to make them look really legitimate. They manipulated Carfaxes and put their name on Carfaxes. They put Better Business Bureau links. So it shows they have an A+ Better Business Bureau. But what they did is ultimately they just made their own Better Business Bureau spoof website. And then they even went as far as taking photos from other websites to look like their own photos, and it looked completely legit. You wouldn't even know, if you looked at it oh wow, this is a really pretty website and these are really good deals on cars.
All right, so then Jay, there's the risk of getting ripped off. Then there's also, safety, and we have to be concerned about that. Talk to us a little bit more about, how people are actually risking life and limb when it comes to selling property.
Yeah, so let's go to the flip side of the person selling their car, and especially seniors. They unfortunately get taken advantage of more than anybody. Most people think they can just throw up their car on a website. Someone's going to magically call. Someone's going to magically come to see the vehicle. They're going to magically have the money, and everything's going to be beautiful. But here's the reality of the situation. When you have a car that you're looking to sell and you put it on a website, the very first thing that you're going to want to do when you're taking the photos is take the license plate out of the photos. People can find out a lot of information about you. The other thing is take your address out of the background of the photos. And third, if you have a navigation and you're trying to take a picture of your navigation, do not have it show your address of where you live.
Right.
So that's the first step.
Right. So there's a lot of tricks of the trade of sort as the people are looking for to prey upon you.
Yes.
So I mean, bottom line is we're talking about all the things that can go wrong here. Why in the world would someone want to do it themselves when they can have someone who really knows what they're doing do it for them? Is it just coming down to the perception that they're going to actually make more money by not using a service like yours?
I think that that's definitely one of the things. I think enough people think that they only have two options: going to the dealer, where you're going to get pennies on the dollar for your car, or doing it yourself, which in their mind, they feel like they're going to get more money. We're different in the sense that we handle every aspect of the sale for you.
All right, so why don't you take us through the steps from start to finish? I call iAutoAgent and I get you on the phone and I say, I've got, this car that I want to sell, whether it's mine or my parents or whatever. I've got a vehicle I want to sell. Where do you go from there?
So we're going to give you a guaranteed valuation within less than 24 hours. It's a hands-off experience. And that's the big benefit for people, is the convenience, but also the safety. You're not having to go meet strange people at strange places and on some plain parking lot that nobody knows where you're at. Basically, what we do is we give you a guaranteed valuation. If you decide that you want to move forward with us, we handle every aspect, all the way from the marketing. We take professional photos. We do a video walk around. We do an independent inspection. We pay for all the costs along the way, including sending a car concierge to pick up your vehicle from your home, take it and do the showing at a police station. So that's a big safety tip right there. Whether you use us or you do it yourself, always meet at a police station, never veer from that. And once they decide that they want to move forward, we handle that sticky money transaction. But what's really unique is it's a benefit both to the seller and the buyer, because the seller never pays us a dime for our services. Our compensation is actually built into the price, and we work on a quarter to half the margin of a typical dealer. So we can get the seller the more money than they're looking for. We can keep it so they never have to get involved, and we can make it safer for them. But the buyer also is much safer because we're meeting at police stations. The buyer can buy a vehicle under market value, and they get a straightforward transaction, which they're not used to. So it's really just a matter of brand awareness and letting people know that we do exist. And we even have a bonus that if we make any more than what we expect on the transaction, we actually give the seller an extra bonus too.
Wow. So is there a contract to sign that gives you the vehicle to market for a certain period of time?
Yeah, so we typically like to sell our cars in under 45 days. It depends on the type of car you're coming. Typically, it's a 45-day agreement. It just gives us that exclusivity to sell your vehicle. If for whatever reason, and I will say this, we only have about a 4% dropout out of any car we sell that doesn't sell, then you never pay us a penny. You never have to pay us anything. There's really no risk to you. The only risks are us, because I'm paying for every expense along the way. And we have an amazing group of agents that will work with you directly, as well as a whole team of people that will support you. And that way you don't have to, do anything.
Right. So the seller's going to make more money. The buyer's going to buy it for less than he or she would typically buy it through a car agency.
Right.
Do you facilitate anything in regards to things like having the car mechanically checked out, making sure that it's titled properly so that you can actually sell it and transfer it? Talk to us about some of the finer edges of this transaction.
Yep. So part of the program on our seller platform is the fact that we do pay for the inspection. We pay for professional photos. We pay professional videos. We pay for everything along the way. And you have a dedicated title coordinator to handle that sticky paperwork. And when I say sticky, I mean sticky, especially when it comes to seniors and their families. There's trust and wills and liens and death certificates, unfortunately. And those are really complicated. And if you don't do it the right way and you don't have the right documentation, you could put yourself in a very bad position. So that's what we do. We handle all of that for you. We make sure that you're doing a legal transaction. And it's just like a real estate agent. People have no idea what they're getting into until they start trying to do it. And they're like, oh, wow, this is way harder than I thought. It's more complicated. And believe it or not, some people don't show up when they say they're going to show up, and it becomes a waste of time.
Oh, absolutely.
We deal with all that.
Well, yeah, even a Facebook Marketplace, when you're trying to sell a widget, people don't show up. So You're doing this in the St. Louis metropolitan area. If someone wanted to do something or do the same thing in another city somewhere, whether buying or selling, are you able to help with that?
So we're actually expanding to Springfield within the next 30 days, which I'm really excited. We have a couple investors that have come on board. That's really exciting. We're looking to go nationwide. As of right now, we're a 35-mile radius from Chesterfield, which is our home office. And that's West County, North County, South County, St. Charles County, Lincoln County, a little bit over past Illinois. That's typically our service area.
Gotcha. Now, the Senior Learning Institute has a local focus in the St. Louis area, but it goes and extends
Oh, okay.
nationally. So that's why I was asking you. So if somebody had something similar, like for me as a real estate agent, if someone's looking to sell a home in Denver, Colorado, or San Diego, California, I have resources to top performing real estate agents everywhere that can help facilitate that transaction. Do you have similar type of contacts nationally that you could help folks either buy or sell?
We definitely do. The selling platform is best in St. Louis, but we have nationwide services all across the country. If someone's looking to sell their car, it's more of a cash price type of a situation. So if they're wanting to sell it and they need to sell it and they're not sure who to turn to and they need a resource, we can definitely get them going in the right direction for that. That's the easiest way I can explain that.
Got it. Thank you. So I'm also curious, what vehicles seem to always be in demand and which ones tend to be a little bit tougher to sell? And I'm talking about cars, automobiles, but then also expand upon that in regard to whether you sell vehicles that are not just cars, trucks, motorcycles, everything else.
Sure. So we have focused on cars and trucks, just, normal cars and trucks. And if you have a low miles car, it will sell. It doesn't even matter what it is, it will sell. People have this perception that low mileage is the best thing since sliced bread. The truth is it's not. But in reality, the perception that the public has is yes, low miles sells. Trucks sell really, really well. And any type of Japanese car, typically I would say between 2008 to 2017 is really a nice product to sell.
Right. I hear used cars are hard to find right now.
They are. There's a shortage of used cars. I can go into my whole COVID speech, but basically because COVID hit, new car manufacturing shut down. Then people bought the used cars that were available. Then they said, hey, you can't come outside your house. Then the used car dealers were like, oh, wow, we're going to stop buying cars now. And then all of a sudden they told people they can come back outside their house and we're going to give you a huge, stimulus check. So everybody went back out. They went out to go buy used cars and the dealerships ran out of cars. So then they went out and now they're trying to buy as many of them as they can. So the market is very, very high. So if you have a car that you're looking to sell, it is worth a lot of money. It is still a major seller's market right now.
You had mentioned low mileage. Define what low margin is. What's that?
So typically the average miles is about 15 to 20,000 miles a year. So if you have a car that's an average, say 10,000 miles a year, you're going to be in a much, much better position than if you have a car that you've driven 30,000 miles a year. It's just a more desired vehicle and people just perceive a low miles vehicle as being a better vehicle and they're willing to pay for it.
If you're selling a vehicle and I'm wanting to buy that vehicle and I don't have my financing lined up or don't have cash, do you help with connecting me with a lender, getting a loan?
Absolutely. That is one of the services we provide. So when the buyer is looking to purchase a vehicle, we have credit union partners that we work with. They have extremely low rates and we have a special, like really a red carpet type of experience for our clients. And then we also have the ability to provide warranties to every buyer that comes to us that mirror the factory warranty at pennies on the dollar compared to what they could get potentially at a dealer or on their own.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention too, Jay has helped me buy a pre-owned vehicle from a dealer, and I ended up getting a better deal using Jay. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. And now one of my daughters is thoroughly enjoying that car. There's no question about it. It's officially hers, so she's all jazzed up about that. We're going to wrap it up, Jay, but let me ask you this. Is there anything that we have not yet talked about that you feel is important for our listeners to know about?
Not really. I mean, there's definitely some more safety tips that I can give. And one of the things I'd like to share is be very careful when you are taking money from somebody that you verify the funds. There are a lot of cashier's checks that are not right. They're printed on printers, and they're literally bogus. And there's people out there that are trying to pass these checks around. So do your due diligence, close the transaction at a bank, and have that bank do a verification of funds. Also be very careful with cash. Even meeting at the police station, that's great to do the test drive, but go to the bank to actually do the transaction. Definitely.
Well, that's great. Great advice.
Yeah.
Or even better, use Jay. He'll take the risk out of it and hopefully
Yeah.
put some more money in your pocket. If you want to reach Jay or anybody else on his team, their phone number is 636-614-3711, 636-614-3711, or check out their website at iAutoAgent.com. That's iAutoAgent. And for the listeners, I want to thank you again for viewing and or listening to this Senior Learning Institute educational moment. At the Senior Learning Institute, we strive to provide the straightforward and unbiased information you need to make smart decisions the first time. We're here to connect older adults and their advocates to the resources they need to help them make the right decision right from the get-go, from aging in place to selling the home in any condition, estate and financial planning, in-home care, estate sales, clean-out services, you name it, anywhere in the United States. To learn more, please visit us at theseniorlearninginstitute.com. Check out some of our online seminars and additional podcasts. Until next time, I'm Ted Gottlieb, Certified Senior Advisor, Seniors Real Estate Specialist, and founder of the Senior Learning Institute.